It is a spooky time of the year, and this is John, William, and Becky from Stub Group coming to you to share some spooky, scary stories from our experience with Google Ads and things that can go wrong. As they say, if it can go wrong, it will go wrong. And there's always something to learn from what went wrong so you can make sure it didn't happen again. So I think each of us have at least one scary story to share that hopefully you can learn from if you're watching this so that you don't repeat this in your own business. So Becky, kick us off. What do you have?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Spooky season is always a lot of fun, and although we don't normally relate much of a jump scare to Google more than whenever you're sitting and waiting to talk to support online and suddenly they answer. We do have some definitely scary stories that come into us on the sales side of things before we even sign people up to work with us. Recently, I can think of one in particular where a lead came in and she was looking for help on the compliance side of things, wanted some help with a Google suspension. And we had been talking back and forth, and she had communicated to me that she was talking to other people who could service her and help her with her suspension. And she went silent for a little while and came back to me earlier this week with a lot of stress in her life that wasn't there before when we first started talking. And basically what happened was she chose to go with a lower price solution and work with a freelancer that she thought she could trust to help her get her Google Ads account unsuspended. And as that freelancer began to work with her and got access to her Google Ads account, they also requested access to other things that she thought were going to help get her Google Ads account unsuspended, like her Facebook page, her Instagram page. And when she came back from a long weekend out and not communicating with this freelancer, she found out that they had hacked everything she had. They had gone onto her Facebook page. She no longer had access. They had gotten into her Instagram account. And one thing they definitely didn't do was get her Google Ads account unsuspended. So definitely a very scary situation for her. And at this point, she doesn't even know if she can get the Google Ads account unsuspended because she doesn't even know how to get into everything. And so now she's dealing with the scariest situation of all, which is waiting for someone at Google to call her back and tell her what she can do. So that's the scariest story that I've heard in the last couple of weeks when it comes to Google Ads and who you hire and who you work with. Definitely, you're going to pay more for quality. Be very careful working with freelancers or people that you haven't researched extensively and giving them access to your accounts because you never know what they're going to take them and use them for.
Somebody taking advantage of someone's problems and then just making them so much worse. That's not a good thing at all. Becky, thanks for sharing that. Will, what do you have? What spooky story comes to mind?
I've got a couple of spooky stories, both of them related to phone calls. So, my first story is related to the importance of connecting your marketing strategy to how your sales team handling phone calls. So, client we were working with was a local furniture store, had a brick and mortar location, and they wanted to target with their campaigns keywords, brand names that were in the same area. So they knew if someone was looking for company A, that would also be relevant for them. So targeting those keywords, they had really potent ad copy in place, and so they were getting phone calls through the website, but primarily through call extensions. But the problem came with people be searching for a competitor of theirs. They would call in, and the sales team, instead of looking at that as an opportunity to say, like, oh, you're looking for this furniture or you need help with design services, we're not this company, but we offer this. We're actually running a promotion right now. Would you be interested in hearing more about this? Something along those lines. They were apologetically answering the phone call and it's like, hey, sorry, we're not that company. Here's their contact information. And so that was happening over and over again. And so we were having conversations with the owner of the company explaining, like, hey, this is what's happening. We need to make sure we're clarifying this with your team so they know how to handle these. And ultimately, it wasn't something that they were able to adjust on their side. And we had to stop using call extensions for those competitor campaigns, even though it was really relevant traffic, because those were leads they were paying for, but they were losing. So that's my first spooky story related to making sure there's not a disconnect there with your internal sales team. First spooky story is to the importance of making sure, if you're using a call answering service, for instance, that they're up to speed on your services, maybe new promotions that you're running, and being able to accurately convey that information to calls that may be coming in. So, had a roofing company, and they recently started offering solar panels in addition to standard roof installations. But callers were calling in asking about solar because they had searched a keyword, they seen an ad, they called in, and the call answering service wasn't aware that this was something that the client now provided, and so they were turning away these leads because of that. And this was a new opportunity that was really important to this roofing, to this business owner, because it was going to bring in a lot of more money. It was a new opportunity to capture additional market share, and until he was able to train up his call answering service on like, hey, no, we have got these new products. We were able to facilitate these services now. Those were lost opportunities. So it's important that you're on the same page with your sales team or your call answering service, if you're using that, to make sure that your marketing strategy matches up with what you're communicating to them once they're on the phone.
Great stories, Will. Yeah, for me, that highlights advertising and marketing. It's the first step. It's not the end of the journey. It's the beginning of the journey. And then once you have that lead, you got to close the deal. And like you said, you got to make sure that the communication, the messaging is consistent and comprehensive between that lead first being made aware of your presence and that you might have the solution for what they need, and then them actually getting into your pipeline and closing the deal. My share is on the YouTube side of things, YouTube ads in particular. So we had a client that was running ads on YouTube, and we're seeing, great cost per views, tons of engagement, really cheap cost per views, but the clicks to the website from the video ads that we're running, there's tons of them, but it just didn't seem right. There was such a high volume of clicks, high volume of views, and nothing was happening on the website. Nothing was, nobody was placing an order. Didn't seem like people were sticking around, and so we dig into things and realize, Google with these YouTube campaigns is probably 95% of our traffic was coming not from YouTube itself, but from Google's display network of Google showing the video ads across all sorts of other placements. We dig in further, start looking, okay, what placements are these ads showing on? And we're seeing, mobile apps, puzzle apps, game apps, kids apps. And it's becoming clear we're just wasting money here. The client is wasting money because they're getting all these quote, really cheap views and impressions and so forth, and it's just garbage. And so it's really important in most YouTube campaigns to not serve ads in the display network, from everything that we've seen in our data. And there's even been some pretty significant allegations put out there about YouTube not fully sticking to what they say they will do when it comes to serving their ads across the display network and making sure those ads are viewable and are good, high quality apps and websites and whatnot. So, the solution to that scary story was stop running YouTube ads on display network, really focus on YouTube when you want to run YouTube. So we could probably talk for the next 5 hours about more scary stories. Over the last decade here at Stub Group, we have seen, I like to say, pretty much everything, and then every day there's something new. So if you are living your own scary story right now, if performance is not where you need it to be, if you're dealing with Google Ads suspension, needs some compliance help, if you haven't started running Google Ads yet and you don't want to become a scary story, you want to do things the right way, please reach out through stubgroup.com. We'd love to chat, see how we can help you. We'll also put some more videos on the screen so you can watch more information, and tap that subscribe button to get more videos like this in your feed. Until next time, take care.